Hey cousin, so today we got a huge update on the Epstein list. And by huge update, I mean that once again, the government is playing in our faces. And enough is enough, knuck if you buck, because I am ready to throw hands. But let me calm down. Because speaking of hood rattery, Atlanta police chief says that the talented but unfortunate looking rapper Lil Baby is partially responsible for the deaths of 2 teenagers, and there's low-key some truth to it. Later in the show, a deranged TikToker claims that natural beauty is racist and transphobic, and the new SHREK movie has already irritated my soul. Y'all know the vibes. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Welcome to Respectfully Xavier. So if there is any issue that I have lost patience on, it is waiting for the Epstein list. It makes no sense how long we have been waiting to see the client list. They arrested Ghislaine Maxwell. They arrested Jeffrey Epstein. They have already confirmed multiple times that the list is out there and that there is a client list, because I just find it funny how there were charges made for sex trafficking, but to whom? Whom were they trafficked to? We have not gotten those answers yet. And now with this new administration, everybody is so ready to start getting answers right now. And right when we got a little bit of optimism, of course, they played in our faces a little bit, but let me back up. So U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi went on the Jesse Waters show, and this is what she had to say.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
I'm sorry. It's been long enough. Of the tiptoeing is just exhausting at this point. Like, she's saying, and no shade to Miss Bondi, but okay, we get it. We are well aware that there's a lot of disgusting things happening. We are well aware that Jeffrey and his co-defendant did a lot of terrible things to a lot of people. I want to see the receipts. You're talking about how you have all these papers on your desk. I would like to see it. Okay, so what we have learned today so far is that they are releasing this information in phases. In phase 1, it seems like they're going to be rolling out with, well, first, they're making sure to redact the 250 names for privacy, which I respect that. You've had plenty of time to make sure that these people have protection. If you have known for a while who these victims are, they should already have protection on them. So that to me just feels a little late. But like she said, the flight logs are going to be coming out soon. And I just want to put a reminder out there. And, there are people who argue with me on this. I do think that if anybody who has been to the Epstein Island multiple times, I have questions on. Anybody who's been there once, I have questions. And I think that they need to be questioned. But I'm not deeming people guilty just because they're on the flight log. Being on the island doesn't mean that you know all the whereabouts and what was going on the island. You could have been there for a business meeting of some other sorts. I don't really know. Until we know what was truly happening on the island at large, it's hard to say if just being there makes you guilty, but you're at least suspicious by proxy. Also, I saw that they're going to be releasing his little black book. He has this address book of over 100 names of different celebrities, athletes, government officials, politicians, CEOs, you name it. And really that just shows a snapshot of his network. It shows just how wide his range of connections really was, because people underestimate how much of a deeply rooted socialite Jeffrey Epstein was in the social scene. So I am very interested in having that conversation of seeing everybody that was in his address book. That was important enough for him to write down their name, number, contact information, etc. But again, that's an address book. That's cute. I want to see the client list. I want to see the accomplice list, because you don't do any of this stuff by yourself. So I want to start seeing the information. Now, let's get into why I'm really just irritated is because the way that they continue to tease the release of the Epstein files, it's almost like they're teasing the release of Rihanna's album. We've been waiting all this time, but we're talking about something that's really serious here. We're not just talking about, well, Rihanna's album is serious, okay, because I really want that. But let me not even play. I'm doing too much. I already know y'all like, Xavier, don't do that. Don't do too much. But, Mr. Rodriguez being shady with that ding. But on a serious note, we want the list. We are not talking about some pop culture moment. And I feel like this is how this is being treated. I feel like they're treating this like a celebratory, this is cute. Like it's almost downplaying what the severity of this situation is. And really what you're doing by having these phases, having this slow rollout, you are just giving the people who are guilty time to delete, erase, and burn. Heavy on that, burn evidence. You're giving them time to protect themselves. You're getting them time to lawyer up. And they've had many of years to do this, but I don't think a lot of these elitists expected the globalists to lose power and the highest office in our country. But now that we're really starting to take a magnified look at them, you are giving them the time to prepare. So it makes me wonder, is there going to be any accountability? When we start getting these names, let's say tomorrow, you decide to release the names of all the people who are guilty and all the different nefarious behaviors and actions that went along with the Epstein client list. What are you going to do? Are you going to hold them accountable? Because if you already have the list, you already have the names, you already know what people are guilty of, what is it that you're going to do now besides have them be guilty in the court of public opinion? That does nothing. I want these people in cold prison cells next to Diddy. That's where they belong. But instead, we're sitting here treating this like this, it's a pop culture moment, like we're waiting for Wicked 2 or something. I want to see these people be held accountable, okay? I feel like that shouldn't be asking for too much. And I was already feeling that way. And then right before the show went live, I just became so unbelievably pissed off by the way that government accounts are playing in our faces. Can we pull up this image of this tweet that just got put out? They're treating this like a game. Okay, this is the House Judiciary GOP. This is you can see by the gray check on X that this is a government account. And it says breaking Epstein files released. You click on that URL. There is nothing in this world that would prepare you for what you're about to see. You click that link and you get rickrolled. Bruh. Ain't nothing funny about that. And I like to laugh. I like to sit here and key. But why are you playing with us? Why are you playing in our faces? We are not talking about some cute little moment. Okay? We are talking about 250 plus, probably way more than that, children that have been sex trafficked, adults that have been sex trafficked. We're talking about globalist elites that have done some of the most vile, heinous crimes of all time. And we can only imagine how long this has been going on. And you took this as an opportunity to rickroll us. You took this as an opportunity to clickbait, to try to get your little X engagement check. Are you so for real right now? Somebody needs to be fired. Somebody's bills need to be affected. I don't even think Joy Reid would play in our face like that, and she's a full-time clown. At least she was before she got axed. Okay? So I don't know who did that, but I honestly, my theory, hear me out. My theory is whoever it was that greenlit putting out that tweet, I feel like they're an op of the current new administration and they want to make them lose credibility. Because I'm going to clock it. That was a GOP account. Let's clock the T, call a spade a spade. Let's be so for real. That was a GOP account. So now I want to know who did that and who was it that instructed to do that, greenlit that tweet to play in our faces in order to make the new administration look bad and look less credible. Because I know my president didn't approve that. But let me not do too much, because this is a 501c3 nonprofit and we do not endorse candidates or political parties, nor did we criticize them on behalf of the company. Shout out to PragerU. Make sure you guys subscribe to PragerU to keep our videos free. But I'm gonna need y'all to stop playing in my face because it's really getting out of control. I don't want any more photo ops. I don't want any more Fox News one-liners. I want to see the client list. And I speak on behalf of everybody in saying that this is getting exhausting. Now, one thing that people are also mad about is that a part of this phase 1 rollout, I don't know how many phases there are, but this phase 1 rollout is starting with, they invited a bunch of political personalities and influencers such as Lips of TikTok, my friend DC Drano, Jack Posobiec was there, I believe Cernovich was there as well, a bunch of different people who have been very prolific and influential in the last 4 years, and really beyond that when it comes to winning back over the culture. They were invited to be a part of this rollout for the phase. Now, when I saw this picture, it was a little unsettling to me. I tried to be supportive because I'm not a hypocrite. If I was invited to this opportunity, I would have went too. As somebody who is a political influencer, I would have loved to have been a part of this moment. I actually gave a shout out to my friend DC Drano because this is iconic. You are a part of the historic reveal of something that we have been desperately wanting to see for so long. So I wasn't mad at that. And you know, it really does show the impact of new and alternative media. Here at PragerU, myself as an influencer, just externally, like all the different people involved that you have seen over the last few years, we are the new form of media. So as a way of thanking us for all the work that we have done, that's what I saw this as, inviting these influencers, because I even made a tweet saying, I think DC Drano's account, as well as the typical liberal Lips of TikTok, they belong in the Library of Congress, okay? When it comes to just literature that has impacted and influenced our nation, unfortunately, most of y'all aren't reading books anymore, and that's half the problem that we have in this country. But what you are doing is you're doom scrolling Instagram. And when you go on Instagram, accounts like DC Drano, Typical Liberal, Libs of TikTok, etc., at Xaviaer, these are accounts that you have seen that have impacted culture. So I was fine with them being there. I still thought it was a little weird. It was a little weird, you know, posting up with the binders, but I get it. But it becomes distasteful when what you've now just given us is a photo op paired with a Rickroll, paired with you're now saying, oh, we're going to give you little nuggets of information. We have waited long enough. We've been waiting decades because people have known about this since, I believe, the 90s, about some of the things that were going on at Epstein Island. It's just gotten more and more momentum with the birth of social media. So it's very insulting to us as a nation that we are now having to wait. Oh, let's get his address book. I don't care who his friends are. I don't care who Jeffrey Epstein's masseuse was. I don't care, unless it was a little girl, then we need to know. I don't care who he was playing golf with, unless it was Tiger Woods, because why were you out there? Shout out to Tiger. I just want to know who's guilty. That's all I want to know. Stop playing games with us. Stop giving us fluff. Stop delaying this. Let's get the information and move on. Moving along. Let's talk about Lil Baby. So do y'all know Lil Baby? You know, wham, wham, wham. Middle Lil Baby. Brand new whip, got no key. Atlanta rapper. He is so unfortunate looking. And I don't even mean that as shade. You know, no shade. He just is low-key ugly. He is very talented, decently talented. For this new wave of rappers, he's decently talented. I definitely have a fair share of Lil Baby songs in my playlist, especially his collabs with the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj. However, anyway, this Atlanta rapper Lil Baby was up to some hood rattery, and it just has gone way too far. So with Lil Baby, he is now being accused of being guilty of the deaths of 2 teenagers and the injury of one 11-year-old due to a shooting that happened due to the escalation of a situation that he caused. He had a music video. Lil Baby is a part of a gang. He's a gang member, a hood rat gang member, and his gang went and shot a music video in a rival gang's neighborhood, which anybody who knows how gangs operate, that is as disrespectful as it gets. So there has been this series of retaliation that has led to the deaths of 2 teenagers. And that was last summer. But what made it escalate is this Atlanta police chief really clocked Lil Baby's tea. And this is what he had to say.
The overall theme of this case is grown men playing gangster that left 2 of our children in graves and a community in fear. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been.
Yeah, heavy on that part. This is a grown man. I think that we need to remind ourselves sometimes when we see this ghetto hood rat behavior. This is a grown let me not curse on PragerU platform, child. This is a grown Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez is shady back there with these little dings, child. But Lil Baby is a grown man, a grown 30-year-old man playing with guns and acting like a gang member. Sir, you are far too rich, far too grown, and far too ugly to be doing all that. So last summer, again, he filmed his music video in this rival gang's territory, this area called Verbana Street, which is the location that is known for being a very gang-heavy area, and it ignited this gang war that led to a hit being put out by another gang member that's in that rival gang. He put out a hit from prison through phone calls and social media posts saying to go and shoot up a 13-year-old boy's birthday party in order to get their lick back. Bruh. How pathetic do you have to be? How pathetic do you even have to be in a gang in 2025? I'm sorry. It's so old. It's so tired. It's so played out. Pull your pants up and be a grown man. But these are children that are being involved. These middle school age children, hopefully they were even still in school, named Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman, were an 11-year-old that got injured. Were at this birthday party. They weren't even gang members, mind you. These children that got shot and killed, they weren't even involved in a gang. They were caught in the crossfires. I made an entire mini doc that you guys should check out on PragerU.com called Their Lives Mattered, the Forgotten Victims of Crime in America, because you know what happens all the time? While everybody's out marching about Black Lives Matter, there are young black boys in the hood that are getting shot and killed because of the gang violence that's happening in their neighborhoods, even if they have nothing to do with it. Imagine that's your child that's at a birthday party and gets shot and killed because of a gang war, all because of a music video from a multi-millionaire. Do you hear how lame and stupid this is? And you know, everybody is now fighting online about whether or not Lil Baby should sue for defamation. And you know, I understand the argument, because to be fair, in Lil Baby's defense, you know, there's a difference between pulling the trigger and your intent. Okay, Lil Baby didn't shoot anybody. Lil Baby didn't order the hit. So he hasn't been charged with anything directly, even though the police do want to hold him accountable. And these deaths did happen months after the music video was shot due to the retaliation. But the thing is, it all comes back to Lil Baby. If you didn't take your grown, ashy, musty self up in this neighborhood that you knew was rival gang activity, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. And I need a leader in the community like Lil Baby to come up and step up and say something about this. Stop rewarding ghetto hood rat culture. Why in the black community? This is a message to all my black people. Shout out to everybody black. Be better. Okay? And okay, let me clarify before y'all start giving me the coon allegations. Obviously, this isn't all of black culture. But within our culture, within our community, we need to start taking a stance of how problematic this is. Because Lil Baby is one of the most prolific rappers out today, and he is a part of a gang that is so unnecessary. You can be a successful artist without being a gang member. Why don't you see country music artists doing this kind of stuff? You don't see people saying this about Jason Aldean. You don't see people talking about a shootout because of Sabrina Carpenter. You don't have to be a gang member and actually out here shooting guns and rapping about drugs and all this toxic stuff in order to be a successful musician. You don't have to be like you guys get my point. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, this frustrates me to just ad nauseum, because this is insane. It is insane that a music video has led to the death of 2 teenagers. And this isn't even irregular. The only reason we're hearing about it is because Lil Baby is such a big star. Stop rewarding hood rat culture. Stop elevating people like Cardi B. Cardi B is out here. Cardi B is on video bragging about drugging and robbing men and that being a part of her come up. She is out here glorifying strippers, talking about her life as a stripper and how much she enjoyed that element of her life. You do not have to do all that to be successful. Nicki Minaj is literally the queen of rap, everything that Cardi B wishes that she could be. And you don't hear Nicki Minaj out here running with gang members and shooting up places and calling out hits on her baby daddy's man. But that's what people like Cardi B are doing. And these are the type of people who have all the credibility in the hood. I just want to see our culture be better. And for some reason, that makes me a coon, a sellout, and an Uncle Tom. because I'm exhausted of seeing things like this. Now, as far as little babies should be held accountable in the eyes of the law, that's hard to say. You know, I'm not an attorney, so I can't really tell you how much you can actually pinpoint on him. But when it comes to the court of public opinion, I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted by this behavior. And if they did throw you in a jail cell for a little bit, I wouldn't bat an eye. Moving along. I want to talk about this situation that made me genuinely sad. I'm just going to play all 3 of these clips through so you guys can get the real context of what's happening here. And then I have some thoughts.
Today, we are blessing the family who had faced a real devastating issue by losing 2 kids. And
so as you see here, Detroit mother gifted a new home by the city after losing 2 children to freezing temperatures.
And especially for the kids, to make sure they have a better future. We put in food for them. Everything we've done brand new, from windows, furnace, painted the house.
So this is beautiful. This is beautiful that, you know, the city is coming in and supporting her and helping her. But let's go to the clip now of how we got here.
I lost the one who made me a mother. I lost a 2-year-old. I'm dying inside. It hurt. I feel like my heart is breaking. And I have 2 more kids to live for.
It's been a long journey for Tatiana Williams with an even tougher battle ahead. She spent the last 3 months living in a van with her children.
And I regret
Why is the smoke alarm going off?
having to sleep out there so bad. I tell them I'm sorry, but I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me.
1 a.m. on Monday morning, they parked at the Hollywood Greektown Casino parking garage in below freezing temps. Overnight, the car ran out of gas, and the next day, her 9-year-old son was not breathing.
I tried to give him CPR, and I was just giving him CPR. I just kept saying, Fetty, don't leave me. Don't leave me.
That, and I believe there's one more.
Her friend helped take him to the hospital. Her 2-year-old daughter was also found unresponsive. Both were later pronounced dead from what appears to be hypothermia.
She didn't even get to live her life. She didn't get to do nothing. She lost her life because I had to sleep in her car.
In a press conference, the mayor and city leaders confirmed that Tatiana did call the city's homeless response team back in November, but nothing ever came of it.
At least as far as we've been able to determine so far, the family never called back again for service. And as far as we've been able to tell, our homeless staff never proactively reached out to say, what happened with your situation? Was it resolved?
Mayor Duggan is now calling for a review of the city's homeless services, while Tatiana is now in a shelter and her kids are with relatives.
It took my 2 kids to die for y'all to help me. It just don't work like that.
That was one of the most heartbreaking stories I've heard in a while, just because here's a woman who tried to get help. And for 3 months, she was trying to get resources from the city and from the state in order to take care of her children, and nobody helps her out. And you guys know me, I don't play about handouts. I talk about hand ups. This is somebody who needed a hand up. This is somebody that was failed by the system. And while it's a good thing that they have now rewarded her a home, it sounds like she has other children, so now her other children are safe. But why did it take getting to this point for her 2 children to die for them to step in and help her? That's what I want to talk about. I'm very disturbed by that. I feel like our government has failed us in so many ways, especially a city like Detroit. Nothing good comes out of Detroit. Michigan is a failed state in many, many ways. And, you know, I can't help but go there, but everything is political. Because when I'm sitting here hearing that this woman, this mother who was freezing in a van, so much so that her 2 children died of hypothermia and was rejected help, I can't help but wonder, well, where were the resources going? So I decided to do a little research into just where is Detroit spending their money? Because you know it's illegal immigrants. It always is. In 2022, $290.1 million was spent by the state and local budget on undocumented immigrants in Michigan. I can only imagine what it was in 2024, but we don't have those numbers yet. Almost $300 million going to undocumented immigrants, but you can't help this struggling mother whose children are freezing to death, literally. Then between 2021 to 2024, roughly $162 million of federal and state Medicaid was spent in Michigan on can't even talk, on undocumented immigrants. $162 million of federal and state Medicaid spent on undocumented immigrants in Michigan alone. But you couldn't get these children the resources that they need. They couldn't get the medical attention that they need. You couldn't find a home for these kids. Oh, and you want to talk about rent subsidies? Let's get into that tea as well. In 2023, well, since 2023, because this is still going on, the state of Michigan is giving illegal immigrants $500 per month for rent subsidies. That's enough to rent a room. So an illegal immigrant can get funding to be in a comfortable living situation. But this mother, a black mother, if you really want to go there, a black mother with 2 children who are at home freezing, they can't get any shelter or any medical care or any attention after reaching out for resources for 3 months. Shame on the entire state of Michigan, and shame to every single person who continues to fund the budgets for, well, not the funds, because it's the taxpayers that are funding it. Every single person that is signing off on giving our taxpayer dollars to illegal immigrants when the only dollars we should be spending are the ones to keep them out of here or to kick them out of here. Shame on you. You are responsible for the deaths of those children. May those children rest in peace, and please pray for that mother and her family and her healing. This is a very, very terrible story. And I hope the blood of Jesus is able to cover their family going forward and to keep them warm. Moving along. I want to talk about this goofy wench that I saw on TikTok. She's the goofy of the day. So y'all know Pamela Anderson, right? 90s heartthrob from Baywatch, the beautiful blonde bombshell Pamela Anderson. Let's see her in all her glory. Let's see Pamela Anderson. Can we see a throwback of her looking snatched? Yes, the gorgeous Pamela Anderson. She has been around for a long time. She seems like a pretty unproblematic person these days. Very nice lady. Well, she has been on this kick lately that I respect. Some people were saying it's attention seeking, but to me, I'm like, you think about what it must be like to be a global sex symbol as long as she was. I'm sure she is tired of frying her hair, caking on makeup, all the different aggressive beauty standards that she has to follow and has been setting for so many years. I know, like, that has to be exhausting. So she has been on this kick lately for a while where she is just rocking the no makeup look, which I respect. You know, I think that natural beauty has been underrated lately, and beautiful. Sorry, the picture just caught me off guard. Shout out to Pamela Anderson and this natural beauty. She looks gorgeous. She looks gorgeous. She looks hydrated, moisturized. She looks fine for her age. She's doing her thing. Well, apparently her being complimented for her natural beauty has been deemed racist and transphobic. Let's play the goofy of the day.
I need y'all to see the inherent transphobia and thus anti-blackness that is embedded within this compliment.
I thought this was satire when I watched it, mind you, but
Pamela
she's dead serious.
Anderson not wearing makeup at a time where anti-trans legislation and transphobia is heightened. I need you to get that this is also signaling Pamela Anderson is a real woman. Look, she doesn't even have to wear makeup.
Pause.
And she doesn't have.
You get it. Pamela Anderson is a real woman. She didn't have to cut out anything. She is a real woman. With or without makeup, Pamela Anderson is a real woman. So when you say it's signaling that, no, baby, that's just what it is. That's just the tea. And if we're going to be so for real, I'm glad that you see it too, because nobody said that. First of all, before we even play the rest of this clownery, because I actually haven't watched the full clip, I saw it just up until this point, and I was like, oh, she's the goofy of the day. Because, come on, be so for real. Be so for real. Nobody in that article is talking about trans women. Y'all make it about these chicks with, with attachments all the time. Be so for real. And then you have these celebrities who talk about, oh, trans people are not invisible, the trans erasure, trans visibility. All you do is talk about them. We have no choice but to see them. Okay? So let a real woman cook. Bruh. Let a real woman be a real woman in her natural state. And this is so anti-feminism, mind you. You're mad at her because she's being told that she looks beautiful without makeup. You are the opposite of a girl's girl. You're a man's girl. And that's all I got to say about that part. Let's keep it moving. What other clown things she say?
When she does it, she's ethereal doing it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look, and this is in style. Here's another example. This is Elle also calling Pamela Anderson ethereal. And then I saw it again, and that may make you think, well, this can't be transphobia. Queerty is calling Dylan Mulvaney ethereal as well. And we know Dylan Mulvaney is a trans woman. So I was like,
ethereal is such an overexposed word.
What is the definition of ethereal? Extremely delicate and light in a way that seems too perfect for this world. See, the gag is anti-blackness and transphobia are intrinsically linked. Okay?
Still waiting for the black part.
So whenever you see the presence of transphobia, anti-blackness is deeply embedded.
Wait a whole minute. Did she just say that transphobia and anti-blackness are inherently linked? Can y'all please stop putting us on everybody's flag? I'm so tired of black people being grouped into every single movement. We didn't ask to be a part of that. Okay? Every time there's a movement that doesn't have substance, they turn it into this is a black person's issue. What does being black have to do with men wanting to be women? I just don't get it. Stop putting us on everybody's flag. And this is so ignorant because Alicia Keys was doing this before Pamela Anderson, and Alicia Keys has been looking phenomenal with no makeup. She should just start a skincare brand if she doesn't have one yet, because everybody's always talking about how radiant and glorious Alicia Keys looks without makeup. So no, Pamela Anderson not having on makeup has nothing to do with anti-blackness. Please be so for real. Can you stay out of black people's business? Actually, this girl, stay out of white folk business. Leave white people alone. Can white people have anything? Can this white woman be beautiful with no makeup on in peace? Can white people have their business to themselves sometime? I'm starting to feel bad for white women. Shout out to white women. Here come the snow bunny allegations. Look, I'm just so tired of this corniness. It's so embarrassing. Pamela Anderson, you look beautiful. Don't let this hateful, trifling, crotchety woman of width on the internet hate on you. You look beautiful. You look ethereal. And dare I say, you look demure. Now, on top of seeing this clownery, I want to talk about this real quickly. Demi Lovato, a year ago, so you remember, Demi Lovato has come out more times than I think anybody has. She was lesbian, then she was bi, then I think she was trans for a little bit, then she was non-binary, and then I think there was something else in between, and then this haircut at some point popped up. I don't know what that haircut is, but like that should be like the new standard, or like that should be like an icon for mental health awareness. This picture just still makes me uncomfortable. Shout out to Paris Hilton, though. Paris Hilton will always be that girl. But Demi Lovato, she's always something. She's always something new. She's been singing the aliens. She's been through a lot, and with her addictions and all these different things in her life. However, back in 2024, she said that she was done going by they, them, and not done going by they, them. Back in 2024, Demi Lovato said that she no longer was going to be a they, them. She is also a she, her again. And the reason for that is that she was exhausted by having to explain her pronouns to people. So why I'm bringing this up now is there was a viral tweet that went out where somebody said, we all have that friend that is no longer non-binary, which I don't know if I would agree with that. I don't know if everybody has that friend that was non-binary, but what that does say to me that's funny is that it is admitting inherently that that a lot of these non-binary people are just going through phases, or that it's something that can literally change. Like, how can you say, oh, I don't have a gender, and now suddenly you have a gender again? It's like, it shows that this is all made up and so fluid that it doesn't even make sense. So really, this person accidentally exposed himself. Now, can we bring that tweet back up again? Because the person ended up retweet quoting the tweet that went viral and said that Demi Lovato opens up about using she, her pronouns again. I just got tired. The reason you just got tired is because it doesn't make sense. You were tired of gaslighting people. If absolutely everybody is on the same page that you try and explain to them to use they, them pronouns does not make sense, then girl, maybe you're just in the wrong. Okay, and if somebody goes by they, them pronouns and you want to play into that game, you can go play that game, but I'm not going to play that game. Okay, I will go as far as if you switch your, if you go by a name, I'll be like, okay, that's if somebody tells me they only want to go by their middle name, I respect that. If somebody tells me they only go by a nickname, I respect that. So if Demi wants to go and start going by Dylan, cool, I'll call you Dylan, but I'm not calling you a they. Like, don't do too much. You're one person. You might have multiple personalities and a lot of voices in your head, but baby, you still just a she, her. You are still a she, her. You are a one singular person. You are a one person woman. So that's all I got to say about that. And I want to talk about one more thing before we go. I saw this right before we came live today too. So Shrek 5 is coming out. I really think it is annoying when there's too many installments in a movie, because I feel like at a certain point, once you get beyond 3 installments in a movie, it just tends to nosedive in quality. I haven't watched any of the recent Shreks just because I am a grown man, but Shrek is funny. And if there was a childhood movie that I would watch for the nostalgia, it probably would be Shrek. It was a very funny movie in the first 3 that I watched. But the Shrek 5 trailer came out today, and I'm going to play this. First, let's play it all the way through, and then I have some things to point out.
Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Why, Shrek, of course.
Ew, Dad.
Ooh, Mama light.
Who's making this stuff?
Not me.
Whoa! Shrek 5, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and Zendaya? Oh, damn. Only in theaters, Christmas 2026.
27 seconds in and everything's already gay. Okay, can children just have one movie that is just classic humor without everything having to be oversaturated with innuendos that are sexual and all these different things? And I remember when I was a kid, like it's not, I don't know if Shrek is a Disney movie or not, but kid movies always do have those little like wink wink jokes for the parents. But what made them funnier as a kid is that you didn't really get it until you were older. Now it's just so blatant and obvious that I feel like even from the lens of a child, especially if they're around the ages of 8 or 9, you're going to pick up on what they're saying, and that's wildly inappropriate. So play this, Mr. Rodriguez, bear with me, because I want to go with this frame by frame. Can you turn the sound back on? Okay, keep on. Okay, pause. Shrek was gay in the scene right before that, and now he's in like fetish gear. This like latex outfit is clearly sexual. Why is Shrek twerking? Nobody asked to see Shrek twerk. That's an ogre. Why are you sexualizing an ogre? This is already weird. Let's go. Already a sex joke. Pause. Pinocchio. Why are they sexualizing Pinocchio? Do I even have to explain why that's inappropriate? Y'all get what I'm saying, right? Y'all see why this is weird? Why is Shrek being sexualized? It's an ogre. Are y'all that thirsty? I feel like the whole are you choosing the man or a bear debate has led to the point where people are now sexualizing ogres, and that has become a problem. And isn't Pinocchio a little boy? Why are you making an erection joke about a little boy? That is an erection joke and a child. That is an erection joke and a kid's movie being made by a little boy sexualizing a grown man who so happens to be an ogre. This has me twisted in so many layers and levels, and this is only 27 seconds of the movie. Not even 27 seconds. That's just the whole video. This is like 20 seconds of the movie, and I already just saw wildly inappropriate things in pretty much every single frame. And I'm not that conservative that's a prude. I'm not that conservative that is just disgusted by every single little joke and every little nuanced joke. Like, I can kiki too. Like, I even have dark humor. So like, I can appreciate a joke here and there about something that is a little more risque. But this is just unnecessary and bizarre.
Yeah, we got 2 comments coming in. One from Uriah from Facebook saying, Shrek has brain rot now. Couldn't agree more. Then we have another one that says, Shrek foul for that. Shrek
foul for that. Mad foul. And yes, please start sending in your live chats because I want to start responding to you guys more as this is going. Mr. Rodriguez is going to let me know the ones I should read. So y'all control if you want, but I ain't even going to see it. But yeah, Shrek is foul. And if Shrek entertains what Pinocchio is saying, then Shrek is a pedophile. And that's all I got to say about that. Thank you guys for tuning in for yet another chaotic episode of Respectfully Xavier. Be sure to head to PragerU, check out all of our great content there. Like, share, subscribe. Go to the poll the poll that's in the description. Let us know what you like and don't like about the show so far. It has been so fun, so real, but I got somewhere to be. Talk to you soon.